Hi, my name's Walter Montero. I'm a real estate and mortgage agent here in Cambridge, Ontario, and I've had the privilege of serving our community since 1987. Over the years, I've met some great people here in our community in many different businesses and walks of life. Some, of course, are well known, and others are some of the best kept secrets in town. So the purpose of this podcast is to share and introduce them to you. Welcome to the I Love Cambridge podcast. Oh, Marcia Proctor.
Yes, as like Marcia Brady.
Oh, okay, very good. Yes, hey, Marcia.
Yes, exactly. I've heard that a few times.
You're my first repeat guest.
Well, there you go. You can't get enough of me.
Very good. Okay, and Travel Agent Next Door is your business.
That's right.
Great, perfect. So tell us again about yourself and about your business and what you do.
I'm a home-based travel agent, independent contractor working for the Travel Agent Next Door, which is a host agency. I'm based here in Cambridge, and I help people with their travel plans. I like to make trips where memorable vacations are made and people have a wonderful time and don't have to worry about a single thing while they're away or when they come back.
Very good. Now, I can't think of probably a business that's been more affected by COVID-19 than yours.
Well, that's true. I can't argue with you there. I mean, the initial focus was on getting people back home who were away back in March, and then canceling trips, and that's sort of been the primary occupation for the last several months. So. Right now, we're having a lot of inquiries about travel because people, I think, are really looking forward to traveling, and certainly the announcement of vaccination has made that more plausible for some people. But we're still people are still hesitant, and we're not encouraging people to do anything in the immediate future because we've had enough of booking and unbooking. And
Sure.
There are some people who are still traveling though, and they're running into a few issues with flights that are changed, and of course the 14-day quarantine when they come back. It's very important to have all the information before you travel, because a lot of these islands, for instance, are requiring a COVID test with negative results that you have taken before you go, and within a certain period of time before you go, and you've got to prove that you've got negative results when you land. So you don't want to get there and then have to go in quarantine right away.
Sure. Now, I've heard of some people doing that, and somebody was telling me yesterday, as a matter of fact, that they're planning on travel and they had to actually pay for their COVID test. Is that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the latest, since there is a travel ban on, you're not going to get a COVID test for free. So there are some independent labs that are doing the testing. The good thing about that is that they can do the testing quite quickly, and then you'll have it to take with you, because sometimes it's a very short window, like 72 hours from between when you have to have the test and when you depart. So.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Okay, and in terms of you were talking about booking and canceling and that sort of thing. I in terms of selling the values of using an agent, this probably couldn't be a better commercial for you guys than now.
Well, if anybody had to wait on hold as long as my two associates and I had to when we were trying to cancel all those trips, and of course the COVID hit right before March break, so we had just a real load of trips to cancel at the last minute. It's a very challenging time to travel, and so we think we've proved our worth in terms of both what we offer and the advice that we can bring. And it's a hard way to earn your reputation, but certainly we think we've shown our merit. So
sure, absolutely, good. So you say you got some people inquiring now. Where are people thinking of going? What are they thinking?
Well, it's not just where they're thinking of going. It's also how they're thinking of going. So, for instance, the other day we had an inquiry from a group of 33 family members who want to do a family reunion. They'll go down south, but otherwise there are people who have, I'm not going to wait to do my bucket list trip. I want to book that Baltic cruise, or I want to go to the south of France, and often it's with other people, and it could be family members, it could be friends, just people that they haven't had the pleasure of their company with for the last few months. So they're planning something really big. They haven't traveled for a couple of years, so they may have some money saved up.
Yep.
Depending on how their other situation is, but yeah, so we're getting some interesting trips, and that's the sort of thing that appeals to us. Certainly, I specialize in Europe, and so I do like to have something a little off the beaten track that I can sink my teeth into, and there are lots of trips that are being planned for that. A lot of bike trips and things like that that are not necessarily putting you in contact with a lot of other people as well, other than those in your group. So
Good. And now, is there any inquiries as opposed to as a looking for, say, private residences as opposed to a
mhm.
hotel? Is that more
Yeah,
common?
yeah,
I
we're
would.
looking for that, and also private jets.
Oh, wow.
So yeah,
Okay.
so if you have a big enough group, then you could rent a private jet. Even Air Canada actually has an offer that they're um, uh, promoting right now about how you could do a small jet that holds maybe 50 people or something like that. You might not know everybody on board, but at least you'd be in a
Sure.
smaller crowd on the plane.
Oh,
So
isn't that neat? Yeah.
yeah.
Very. Necessity is the mother of invention.
Yeah, well, I mean, if travel agents have been hard hit, so have their travel suppliers, and so
I would
you know,
imagine.
we're certainly supportive of them. But if they've got the ingenuity to come up with something new, then we're happy to offer that to clients. So,
Perfect. Very good. And
but I
sorry, go
think,
ahead.
sorry, I think one of the key things in this period of time when people aren't traveling so much is for travel agents to really reach out to their clients. We just can't sit back and say nothing until um, people are actually inquiring about traveling again. So our focus in the meantime has been really on constant communication, whether that's by email, or we do a monthly newsletter, or Zoom. Zoom's a big one, and it's actually Zoom is actually interesting because we're home based. Um, we don't always see our clients, and
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, some of them I've only talked to on the phone, or of course, exchanged emails. So Zoom has been kind of a fun thing to put a face to the name type of thing. So we've been encouraging that. And a lot of people are just, well, they're home, so they have time where they'd like to talk about travel and how that's impacting their lives and so on. I do feel sorry for people who aren't getting to see their grandchildren this Christmas and that sort of thing, and missing destination weddings. One of the gals who works with me does destination weddings and romance travel, and those destination weddings that were canceled or postponed, at least, or had come up with alternate local plans. That was sort of heartbreaking there to hear all that. So
Yeah, for sure. It has changed people's lives. I know some people that have sold off their their bigger homes, gone into something smaller with the intentions of traveling, and then of course all the wheels fell off on that. That's for sure.
mhm.
For now, anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're still positive about the future, though. I mean,
Good.
we have a few things booked in June, some good trips booked for June, but even now I'm not sure if those are going to come off. We'll just have to see how the vaccination plays out. Um, and then the fall is pretty busy, but we're booking into 2022 now. So
Wow. Good. Now
mhm,
you had mentioned one of your staff or colleagues there that does the romance travel. So
mhm.
you've got a couple people that you're associated
Yeah.
with, right? Yep.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of associate agents, yeah,
Okay.
and we all work independently, but we work together. So, and we have
Yeah.
different specializations. So, one gal does a wellness travel, really, and that's a growing trend, and as well as family vacations, specializing in Disney.
Okay.
And the other gal does romance travel, which could take everything, cover everything from, the engagement right through to, a vow renewal or something like that, and
Sure.
large groups. So these
Great.
family reunions and stuff. So,
Excellent. Very good.
and yeah, and then I do more customized trips to Europe. Amongst the three of us, we can handle anything, but that's sort of where our specializations lie.
Good. And how long have you been doing this, Marcia?
About 5.5 years. But
Right. Okay.
I traveled extensively before that, and I sort of got into it as a bit of a fluke because I was sort of semi-retired, and suddenly, but because we traveled, we had a lot of people coming to us, friends of ours, saying, "Oh, we should go on a trip," or how do you think I should get to this place, and so on. And then the inquiries became so frequent that I thought, I should be paid for this. so,
Yeah.
so and so then I just went online and I saw that there was an opportunity to work from home or wherever else you happen to be in the world, and still be a travel agent. And thanks to technology, we can stay connected. I've booked trips from the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when I've been doing a transatlantic crossing on a cruise ship. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so those sorts of things are opportunities, and I've really enjoyed it. So.
Good. And you have an interesting background for travel. Tell us what you did in a previous life.
My checkered past.
Yeah, you check it fast. Yes, exactly.
Well, I started as a lawyer, actually, and then I started, back in those days, it wasn't conducive to having a family necessarily, and having a demanding job like being a lawyer. So I ended up starting my own company with a friend of mine where we did marketing for law firms. And from there, it just sort of, I've been a reporter, I do a lot of writing because I have an English degree as well. And then I went to a HR consulting firm and did marketing there. And I still do some freelance writing, but right now my focus is on travel. So.
Sure. Very good. Excellent.
And,
And
and it's fun.
good. Yeah. So you found the other stuff not so fun.
Well, it's a little drier. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
But with the travel, it's something new every day. You just never know what's going to come through the email or on the phone. So
Sure. Yeah.
that's what keeps life interesting. I find so.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
because I have a research background, I'm always interested in finding out about new places, and constantly sort of keeping up, taking courses and that sort of thing to make sure that I'm, keeping abreast of what's hot and new and places to go and things to do in those places and that sort of thing. So.
Sure. Sure. Okay. Perfect. Now, is there any particular tip that you can give anybody about booking travel? Maybe something like, what's the most common mistake that you see people do, other than not using a travel agent?
Well, that's a biggie. Well, certainly even with COVID, we had a number of people who had booked their trips and they were trying to get out of them. And they asked me to unbook them, which I wasn't able to do because I hadn't booked it in the first place. So I didn't have, any ability to do that. So I think you've got to realize that once you book, that you're just using a booking service. After that, you don't have any service, right? So, we follow through. We constantly make. I talk to people while they're on their trip, and then of course follow up with them when they get back. So it's really, if they have any concern while they're away, we're there to make sure that everything goes smoothly, and that they don't have any concerns. So we've always got their back, and it doesn't cost anything to use our service. So why wouldn't you use our service? We're paid by the suppliers. We're paid commission. Occasionally there will be a fee attached if it's something, really extraordinary, but generally speaking, it doesn't cost you a cent. So why wouldn't you? And we could also have access to suppliers that don't deal directly with the public. So we could get that room at that hotel that you've been dying to go to, but haven't been able to book. And, we could probably even get a better price. So.
Good. Perfect. Yeah, I know, especially when you're traveling to Europe, because that's a different set of rules going on over there. And I know we've always used a broker or an agency when we book over there, and I've seen a lot of unhappy faces over there, stuck in the
Well, you know, I mean, you know, case in point, I had a family that went to Paris, and when they got there, the reservation wasn't, they didn't have a reservation. So I
yeah.
said, passed me the phone, did the best in French that I could, but the person luckily spoke English, and or between us, we were able to make ourselves understood.
Sure.
And within minutes, they had not only a room, but they actually got a comped for one night to, you know, for their
Good.
trouble. So,
Oh, perfect. Good.
you know, that's the sort of thing that we would aim to do.
And
And, you know, the whole focus is, you know, you've trusted us with your trip. This is a lot of money, and we want to make sure that you have a good time and enjoy yourselves. So,
sure, absolutely. And what are the hot spots for next year in 22? What seems to be the most popular spot?
well, we're getting a lot of inquiries to the Baltic regions, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing a cruise there. So that would be, you know, Sweden and Norway, and then other places like Latvia and Estonia, as well
Mhm.
as the cruise generally stops in St. Petersburg. And so in terms of the South, there's some new resorts that have opened up. You know, there's some that have closed as well. So, you know, they're not necessarily um, new destinations, but maybe new resorts down there.
Good.
Uh, Antarctica is actually quite
Oh,
popular.
wow.
South, yeah, you can actually do a cruise down there.
Yeah.
Um, and South America is
Yep.
also popular for a number of reasons, not just because of the gorgeous scenery, but also and you know, Machu Picchu and all that stuff in Peru. But
Yep.
um, you know, wine tasting, you know, the different
Oh, yeah.
types of tours are opening up as well. So we're seeing a lot of that. Okay, river cruises are always popular. I'm sure cruising will make a comeback, perhaps starting with the smaller ships first.
Yeah.
But you know, people love cruising. So as soon as and there, that is one industry that is making a real effort to try to protect people from COVID. Well, not that everybody isn't, but you know, to
And
ensure
public
that they have
protection.
precautions in place. Yeah,
Sure,
exactly.
absolutely. Good. Okay, perfect. Well, that's great. Well, very informative. That's awesome. Is there any question that I didn't ask you that I should have?
No, I think you know, we all have to be optimistic about the future, and you know, I would just say, here's to the return to travel in 2021.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's hope. Let's keep
I'm
our
ready.
fingers crossed. So am I. So am I for sure.
Good,
How can
good.
people get a hold of you?
Best to just visit our website, which is proctorteam.thetravelagentnextdoor.com, and all our
Okay.
contact information is on there for not only me, but for my associate agents, Nicole and Silka as well.
Excellent. Okay. Well, thanks very much for being on the show. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. And hopefully this one will stick.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
I'm ready
Thank
to
you.
do it again.
All right.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Happy holidays to you.
Same to you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for being on the show.